Welcome to another episode of the Art Patient Project. You find me with the glute in the fitness studio where I teach, and in this episode I'll be talking all about why it's a bad idea to go running. Okay. I don't want to piss on anyone's parade if they go running, but running is one of the most complex of all movements that you'll ever learn. You really need a running coach. Before you actually start practicing running, you're going to need to take control of the posterior chain of your body. The posterior chain runs all the way back, down the back. It's from the back through the glutes, through the spinal erectors, through the long and short heads of the back biceps. These are not just your biceps. The most important biceps in your body are at the back of the legs, the long head and the short head of the back biceps, and the calves. Now, if you are a lady out there and you think it was a great idea to go and lose some weight, it's probably the worst thing you can do, because you will not run weight off. 95% of your problems are in the kitchen. That's why I make lots of videos in the kitchen about what to eat. You may have an initial, weight loss of 4 or 5 pounds as you increase the metabolism of the cells. That it will be temporary, because your bad habits will still overwhelm your running. In the meantime, after a few months of running without taking control, that's what this machine does. This machine actually teaches, this is a glute hamstring being a farmer's term, back biceps. This teaches people how to use their bum and the posterior chain. This is what this machine actually does. It teaches you that. Now, without any control over those muscles, you are just going to get running, especially if you're running on concrete as well. You really need to, before you start running, you need to take control over your diet. Running always seems like a great idea, but believe me, my sister's in a running club from down south and she's constantly injured. The reason she's constantly injured, one day I found out when I seen her running along the seafront at the Isle of Wight, was the fact that she runs terrible. She has no control over the posterior chain. Until you control the posterior chain, which we see Mo Farah and lots of famous runners do, until you control that, and until you control your diet, you'll never be successful at running. Because if you're overweight anyway, and you don't change your bad habits in the kitchen, you're just running around. You may as well be running around with a few dumbbells in your pocket. You need muscle endurance. Running, unlike what people think, is not the thing you can just go out and do. You can do it awful. We see people in the street, don't we, doing it. I see so many ladies doing it badly instead of successfully. I have a friend, a very good friend of mine, who's a successful physio in Lichfield, not far from here. Makes lots of money from 70% of his customers are runners. And he makes all his money from runners who do it badly. Most runners don't know that they actually accelerate and slow down with the posterior chain, and having control over these muscles that run down the back of the body, like I say, lumbar, spinal erectors, the lumbar spine, the hips, the glutes or your bum, and the back biceps, the long and short head where they're inserted, semimembranosis, semitendinosis in the calves. When you're running, you're going through triple extension, guys. Now, like I say, this is not to piss on your parade, and don't hate me for what I'm saying, but I see so many ladies in particular have gone out running during the so-called scamdemic, and with great intentions to lose weight. Weight loss will always be in the kitchen. When you switch all your bad habits to nutrients and then apply the right techniques, you'll get fantastic results. With running, it is the most destructive thing you will ever do. You are far better cycling because there's no impact in the lumbar spine. Or each stride, you are impacting the lumbar spine. You are asking for trouble. Okay? You must control the posterior chain. That's what this machine does. Now, these are rare machines, and one of the reasons I've got one is because I know I have had lumbar spine. I've had a prolapse disc, so I know how painful it is. In fact, we've got videos on a prolapse disc. Like I said, guys, I wanted to involve, as well as the eating, start involving, now we've got the studio right, involving ideas with your exercise protocols. Running is fabulous if you do it correctly. It is one of the most difficult things to do correctly because it involves triple extension. Extension of the ankle, the knee and the hips. Guess what? This machine puts you through triple extension.